And this week, there's going to be spoilers because we're talking about the superhero film. And in particular, our topic this week is Gohan stronger than Goku and Vegeta? Ooh, big one. Big one. Controversy ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's going to be spoilers, but yeah, let's get into it. So, in the superhero film, Gohan gets his new form. Final Gohan. That's what it's called. That's the
Yeah.
official name. Last week we didn't know the name, but yeah, it's been revealed. Final Gohan. And,
No,
you've.
just stick with Blanco. I prefer Blanco.
Yeah. But, you've read the comments online. I've read the comments online. There's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of people discussing. Is he more powerful than Goku and Vegeta? A lot of people think he is. A lot of people don't think he is. So yeah, we're just going to talk about it and give our thoughts as well. So this is all purely speculation. No matter how many comments you read and how many opinions you hear, it isn't confirmed. Nothing's confirmed. They haven't had a fight. They haven't met up. The films, we haven't seen power level changes in Goku and Vegeta. They've been training. You've got to remember, Goku and Vegeta have also been training on Beerus's planet for months. We just didn't see the extent of their new powers that they've gained whilst training. So we don't know their power levels right now. The last thing we can compare them to is the Broly film, really, which is months previously. So yeah.
I think they'll have had Zenkai boost from that because they got
Yeah,
battered.
they did until they changed into Gogeta. But yeah, who
Uh,
knows? We don't know the power level individually of Goku and Vegeta currently.
they
But we.
basically exist in two separate universes. I mean, they're totally different. They might as well be different shows at the minute.
Yeah.
We can't compare them. That's the problem.
Mm,
Until they full on meet up. For all we know, Piccolo
mm.
could walk up and one tap a Goku. Like we just don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
Um, but we purely don't know. I
Mm.
mean, to be quite honest, last we saw, you could argue Vegeta's stronger than Goku.
Oh, if we're taking
Vegeta won the
just
last fight.
if we're taking just that film into account where they didn't power
Yeah,
up,
yeah. I
maybe.
mean, but from the last fight between Vegeta and Goku, Vegeta was the last winner.
The thing that strikes the biggest nerve with me when I'm reading comments and stuff online is that people are saying, in the film, Gohan said, "Oh, I'm not sure if Goku and Vegeta could have defeated Max Cell," and they're saying that the Gammas, Gamma 1 and 2, are on par with Goku and Vegeta. Now, the reason I'm a bit like, about those comments is because when was the last time Gohan seen Goku and Vegeta? Because he wasn't around during the Broly fight. He didn't see them fight during then. He didn't see how badly they got beat up. Has he seen them since they went to Beerus's planet? Who knows? Because they could have went straight to that planet after the Broly film. Because, Beerus has been asleep the whole time and he wakes up and says, "Why is Broly here? Why is everyone on the planet?" That could have been straight away. He could have fell asleep straight after the film and then Goku and Vegeta go back to train with them and they might have been there for months. Who knows? When was the last time Gohan seen Goku and Vegeta? So I don't like that comment. Gohan
I
could
mean,
be just saying that because he hasn't seen them in ages and doesn't know how powerful they are now.
this is literally Goku.
Yeah,
Goku is not the most family orientated person in the world. He
yeah,
will literally disappear at the drop of a hat.
exactly. And Vegeta's the same. He trains in the capsule pod spaceship thing that Bulma made for him with the times 5 million gravity. Like, he had nothing to do with his family either. It's just that's where he trained, you know?
He was around for when he made sure his kid was born,
Yeah.
but
But he
like
wanted to
it's like
train.
Trunks, when Trunks was a kid, like literal kid Trunks,
Hmm.
he didn't babysit.
No, he didn't
When
want
once
anything to
once
do with
kid
him.
was a kid, he was just out the way. That was it. He would
Yeah.
tolerate him being around training, but he didn't directly train him.
Hmm.
He was only really interested when he found out that he could turn Super Saiyan
Yeah.
because he wanted Trunks to be stronger than Goten. And he
Yeah.
was basically like, can Goten turn Super Saiyan? Right? Are you stronger than him? Good. Okay. Right. I'm not going to train you. I just need to know that you're stronger than Goten.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, right. But I'm not going to do anything about it.
Mm.
Right. See you later. And then he was off. He wasn't involved at all.
Mhm.
He made sure that Buller was born. He wouldn't leave until Buller was born.
Mhm.
But then there was no indicate. But then he's off training again, and he's off on Beerus's planet.
Yeah.
So neither. So whilst he is a family man at the very, very important times,
Mm.
he's then not massive family man after the fact. So
Yeah.
they're both off.
Mm. So the way I seen the comments that Gohan made, the only thing we can definitely confirm is the last time that Gohan seen them together, and that was the Tournament of Power. All of the Broly film, Gohan doesn't see Goku and Vegeta, I don't think. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember, if I'm honest. But even so, he definitely doesn't see him for the actual fight. If anything, I can't remember in that film what exactly happens if Gohan and Goku and Vegeta meet up. But he wouldn't have seen them fight during that film. The last time Gohan seen them fight was the Tournament of Power. So the power levels at that point is the only thing we can say Gohan is referencing to.
Yeah. And in a true fight, that would have been the last time you would have saw them fight.
Yeah.
That would have been the last time he had seen them go all out.
Yeah.
So he would have, because he wouldn't have seen them truly go all. The last time they would have unleashed their power would have been against Broly. He didn't see them do that. So how can he say that he has seen them at their peak power? He can't.
He can't.
And he can't see them. He can't just go, okay, I can see you unleashing your latent power, because they don't just sit at their maximum key level all the time. Yes, they can sense key, but they don't sense them at their maximum key all the time, because they don't sit unleashing their maximum key. Like Kaioken times whatever Goku chooses it to be, he doesn't have that activated all the time.
Yeah.
He die.
Yeah, it's true.
So you can't really use that as an example.
But we can say that the Gammas are the strongest androids, and just for argument's sake, I'm going to say that Gohan was referencing Super Saiyan Blue, not Ultra Instinct, because let's face it, I'm pretty sure everyone will agree that Ultra Instinct Goku can defeat the Gammas. Let's face it. It will. But Super Saiyan Blue, let's put in that level. Let's say Gohan was referencing Super Saiyan Blue, and that means that the Gammas are on par with Super Saiyan Blue. Now, Piccolo manages to defeat Gamma 2 quite easily when he transformed into Big Orange Boy. And, final Gohan also was fine after he transformed as well, which means Gohan and Piccolo stronger than Super Saiyan Blue. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? I think Gohan especially. Orange Piccolo, I'm still not convinced that Orange Piccolo is stronger than Super Saiyan Blue. But,
I mean, that's a big thing for them to just suddenly say, okay, through a Shenron wish, we've suddenly made Piccolo arguably the strongest fighter in the show.
Yeah.
Like, Goku and Vegeta are basically the main characters of the show. So through a wish, you basically made them the third and fourth strongest characters in the show. That's bold for them to have done that, if that's the case. I'm not saying they haven't, but it's bold for them to have done that, because then basically what they'll have to do is, if the Gammas are as strong as Super Saiyan Blue, if that is the case, that means that Piccolo and Gohan are incredibly stronger than Goku and Vegeta now.
Yeah.
Goku and Vegeta are basically weak compared to them. And the only way that Goku and Vegeta can catch up to that level, if Piccolo can one-tap them, which he can, because he can one-tap Gamma, is they need another transformation. It's as simple as that. So basically that now means that they're going to have to put in another transformation.
Potentially, because even if it was Blue, I still don't... I don't see, for example, Orange Piccolo versus Ultra Instinct I don't see that fight being so one-sided for Piccolo to just get an easy win. You know, against Super Saiyan Blue, I can see them a lot more evenly matched. Potentially, like if it comes out that Orange Piccolo is stronger than Super Saiyan Blue, then yeah, fair enough. But Goku has already hit that next level. He knows his next transformation. Vegeta is getting stronger by the day, and since in the film we see Vegeta beat Goku, yes, they weren't powered up, but Vegeta did get that final blow, winning shot. This means that Vegeta is also getting stronger, and I'm pretty sure his like Super Saiyan Blue level will be higher than the Gammas as well. You know, either way, I see both Super Saiyan Blues being higher than the Gammas, just because they've trained a lot more since the last time Gohan seen them, potentially. Gohan, I want to debunk another myth because I've been seeing a lot of comments online as well with people arguing, well, Toriyama said that Gohan is the strongest person. Yes, kind of. He did say that, but he said if he kept training, and that's the bit that people forget. They read all the headlines saying, "Oh, Toriyama said that Gohan's the most powerful," and then they don't read literally the next sentence where he says if he kept training. Yes, Gohan is strong. You know, we all know that. And if he kept training, yeah, he probably would be the strongest person, especially since Toriyama said that. But he hasn't. He didn't keep training. You know, he's a family man. He lacked all muscle definition until he powered up. You know, he is base form, not weak, but you know, he needs to get back into fighting shape, I guess.
Well, I mean, there's a prime. It's literally demonstrated that in the film where Piccolo kind of swat punches at him and he catches it, and he kind of smugly says, like, well, he doesn't say it because obviously we didn't see it with subtitles, but he catches the punch, smiles, and Piccolo basically just demonstrates that he's lost everything because he immediately punches him in the stomach, and he's demonstrating him that Gohan he's lost everything straight away. That it's just he's not training, he's losing his guard, and he's just like he doesn't train, and he keeps losing his edge. And it's basically the premise for the entire film is all that Piccolo wants is for him to get back into shape. And he loses ultimate, he keeps losing his forms, and it's exactly what's going to happen with this form. And what I want to know is how long until he forgets this form, because it's exactly what's going to happen.
Potentially. The one thing that bothers me is the fact that people see Gohan power up to this new form, Final Gohan, and they see him one shot Cell. Okay, well, let's put it this way. Let's say that Orange Piccolo is on level with Goku and Vegeta. Yeah? Gohan didn't defeat Cell on his own. He was fighting him and he couldn't get the job done. He needed Piccolo to grab him and keep him in place so he could hit the special beam cannon to decapitate him and get the win. Let's switch the roles here. Let's say it's Vegeta and Goku taking on Max Cell. Let's say Vegeta is distracting Cell. Goku hits the giant Kamehameha to the head of Cell. Would that not do the same job? Would he have not defeated him like that? Especially, let's put it in other words. Let's say Goku was going all out, Ultra Instinct, mastered Ultra Instinct, and he hits him with the final Kamehameha. I'm pretty sure that would have probably defeated Cell. It's just we didn't see that.
I mean, to be honest, if you think about how easily he can dodge attacks in Ultra Instinct, and these are quick strikes from people like Jiren and everything like that. Like Jiren was a beast. He was fast, he was powerful, and everything like that. I mean, Max Cell is a huge lumbering monster. Yeah. Ultra Instinct, you can't touch him. Like, he's literally just going to dodge every attack until he can get a Kamehameha, and he probably wouldn't have needed Vegeta. All he would have needed to do is dodge until he had the opportunity to chuck out a Kamehameha. And he can move very quickly. I mean, if you think of the the attack that I love so much, which is the way he finished off what do you
Someone.
call it? The Khalifa, the Tony Hawk.
The grind. The
Yeah,
the killing Caulifla, their
yes,
special move.
yes, Kale
Yeah,
Khalifa. Um, he was charging it. He was bouncing through the air, and then he was literally bouncing on rocks, and then he did the grind on the actual attack, and then knocked it out
blast them in
and
the
knocked
face.
her out of the park. Yeah, and literally he needed nobody else. You dodging large attacks. He was able to do that all by himself.
Hmm.
So he could literally dodge these large lumbering attacks. And if you're telling me he can't do that in Ultra Instinct, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, if we compare Gohan to Vegeta and Goku separately for a minute, the last thing we know about Vegeta is that in his base form he can defeat Goku, but they're both very tired and worn out by the end of it. It's basically a tie. Let's face it, it is basically a tie, but because Vegeta got a last little dink and Goku went down first, yeah, he technically gets the win. But let's put it this way: I think Vegeta is probably slightly stronger than Goku in Super Saiyan God, like Super Saiyan Blue. I think he's probably stronger in that form. And that's only because Goku has a better form now. And that's kind of Vegeta's max form right now. So he can get to that level and just increase it more and more. Because the manga, we'll talk about more in the podcast, so get ready for that. But in the manga, that's kind of not so canon currently, as far as the anime goes. So he doesn't have Ultra Ego yet. So Blue is his max form currently, and I would argue that Vegeta is probably slightly stronger than Goku when they're both in that form. Is Gohan stronger than Vegeta? Final Gohan versus Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta.
Well, the way to look at it I look at Vegeta is Vegeta's not looking at power levels as much anymore.
Hmm.
Because how he looked at it in the film is he looked at Jiren. The reason he beat Goku in the film is not through power levels.
Hmm.
He looked at it as in he explained it is the difference between Goku Vegeta against Jiren is he said there wasn't much of a power difference between the two,
Mm-hmm.
between the three of them. It was Jiren's ability to not make a lot of mistakes
Mm-hmm.
technically.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason that he was sitting still for the majority of the tournament power was because he was focusing, meditating,
Yeah.
and concentrating. And that's why in the film Vegeta was sitting because he was trying to do the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he was deemed to be, and that's why he was a better fighter. And he technically beat Goku
Yeah.
because he was focused. He was
Mm-hmm.
better focused. And basically that's what they brought out in the film. They're basically saying that because Beerus even says there's something different about Vegeta's moves.
Mm-hmm.
So he's making fewer mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's why he beat Goku.
Mm-hmm.
And I think basically that's how you have to look at Vegeta is he's very strong. However, he's also
He's smart.
becoming a better fighter.
Yeah.
So is Gohan just relying on his strength?
Yes.
And basically because Piccolo had to hold Max Cell and then he just used his power to finish the job.
Mm-hmm.
Because Gohan became very, very strong, that doesn't automatically make him a better fighter. He's
Yeah.
not been training. He's
Yeah.
been sitting about reading about bugs, which is very respectable
Yeah.
because that's who he is. He's a scholar. He's not a fighter. As much as Piccolo wants him to be, that's not who he is. We have watched him for years. We know this is who he is. It's why I love him as a character because it's the arc we've had for him.
Yeah.
And it's just who I accepted him to be. He is powerful. He has this power inside of him, but we have to accept that he's not this great martial artist. And just because he can become very powerful doesn't make him a great fighter.
Mm.
So if we had this great technical fighter that Vegeta was focusing on becoming, then you have to take that into account.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's as easy to say as, well, Gohan's really, really strong.
Yeah, like I agree with everything you've just said. I think power level wise, it's up in the air. We don't completely know, but if they had a fight, I can see. This is my first, maybe first. I don't know how many I've said already, but maybe my first controversial take right now. I'm gonna say in a fight, 1-on-1, Vegeta versus Gohan, Vegeta would win. Still, even with Final Gohan, even with Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, I think just because of the things you've just mentioned, the battle experience, the fact that Gohan hasn't been training, the fact that Vegeta's already engaging in ways that he can be better by meditating and not wasting energy, that type of thing. I think in a straight up fight, Vegeta will make less mistakes. He'll capitalize on Gohan being very power heavy, and you'll get the win 1-on-1.
Because basically, let's say, obviously, let's say Vegeta's been focusing on his ability to fight.
Mhm.
And let's say he's managed to, since the tournament power, he's managed to focus his ability to fight to the point where now he could beat the tournament power version of Jiren.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do we think Blanco, oh sorry, final form, final Gohan, it's habit now. Final Gohan could beat tournament power Jiren?
Again, just because of the lack. Well,
I mean
it's
that
two
is a
different
bold tip.
Gohans.
So basically, what you'd be then saying is that Gohan could almost beat Ultra Instinct Goku,
Kind
because
of.
Jiren went up against Ultra Instinct Goku
Hmm.
and pretty much fought fairly well.
Hmm.
Was dodging attacks and everything like that against Ultra Instinct. Obviously, Ultra Instinct had the upper hand,
Hmm.
but Jiren didn't just go straight out. Like, he was still able to dodge the attacks of Ultra Instinct and things like that. And
Yeah.
he still held his own quite well. So that's very, very bold to say that, like, this new Gohan could stand up to Ultra Instinct this well.
Hmm.
And I don't think that he's that good. He's
No.
not martially trained anymore. He's not. He's not. He's just really strong.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's very important to bear in mind.
I
You
th-
can't just not train and not fight for all the time and then just suddenly flick a switch and be good. I love the transformation. We
yeah.
talked
Me
about
too.
this previously. I
Mhm.
love, but the the powerful Gohan we had against original Cell when he turned Super Saiyan 2
Hmm.
had trained for a year.
Mhm.
He decimated the Cell that we saw back in the day
Yeah.
because he trained and he became insanely powerful.
Mhm.
So he had both to work with. The Cell that we saw against Max Cell only had the power.
Yeah.
That's why he needed Orange Piccolo to help him.
Yeah.
And if you watch that film, you will see that
Hmm.
he had help. Yeah,
Yeah. Which
he
is
caught the fist. He didn't dodge the fist.
which is going back to Toriyama's point, which people keep arguing. Yes, he's strong. He might be the most powerful if he kept training, and that's why I think both Vegeta and Goku are probably still better because Gohan needs to train. If he trained for a year, like he did against the original Cell, that type of thing, if he trained, mastered the form, got back into fighting shape, that type of thing, then it will be a different story. But right now, untrained Gohan, who's just learned a new form based on rage alone, would he beat them in a fight? I don't think so. I don't think he would beat either of them.
I think this is what I was saying about the Orange Piccolo last week when we were talking about it. Is it's important to bear in mind with Orange Piccolo is we don't know his limits.
Mm.
Is that he's a martial person and we don't know the limits of that, because what he's going to do is what we always see him do, which is he goes out into the desert and he sits down and he focuses his arts, and he's constantly training.
Yeah.
That's why he wants Gohan to come out and train with him. So this Orange Piccolo is going to get more powerful and is going to raise up in strength, and so he is going to actually keep up,
Mhm.
hopefully, with these new powers. And so he may, even if he isn't as strong as Blues at the minute, Okay, because again, like we said, we don't know. So maybe he's not as strong as Super Saiyan Blue.
Mhm.
If he trains, he may end up as strong as the Blues.
Mhm.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he may this power scaling of this new Orange Piccolo may be so much higher or raised so much faster, so he may be able to then overtake them.
Yeah.
We don't know how that works because Shenron said, "I gave you something extra."
Mm.
So the way it works is it may just be just this skyrocketing power that just has no limits.
Yeah.
So we don't know how that works,
Mm.
and that would be very interesting. And it may be the point where he's someone who ends up on Beerus's planet for all we
Yeah.
know. And I think
Potentially.
that would be really cool
Yeah.
because Whis may take an interest in him
Mm.
because it's
Because he's got so much
yeah,
potential to be so strong.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Destroy a Piccolo. Whoa.
Imagine that. That would be incredible. But yeah, I guess this segment is going on long. But the final thing I want to mention is something I mentioned last week as well. Is that Gohan got this form based on pure rage and like seeing his mentor slash friend almost die. And I mentioned it last week where I said, can he just tap into that? Yes, by the end of the fight, it looks like he can tap out of it, because he's standing around in that form and he just like powers down. But that doesn't mean he can just get back into it, Is that not something he needs to like, really get into, like feel that rage inside him to grow into that power? It is final Gohan after all, He needs to, like, it can't just be something he can just turn on and off, I don't think it will be, at least anyway.
Well, I don't think he's ever easily activated Super Saiyan 2, really.
Yeah.
He's never easily in the Boo saga. He seemed to really struggle with it when he had to power up to show off. He really seemed to struggle with it. Like when he originally activated it, I know it wasn't really canon, but in the BoJack film, he had to pretty much die almost to activate it.
Yeah.
Like he's always seemed to. He's never really seemed to. He's never just really turned it on.
Exactly. So I
In
think
this film, he couldn't really do it.
yeah, I think this is going to be a form where we don't see it much, even if the show returns and even if we see more and more of Gohan going forward. I don't think this is going to be something where he's in a fight and he's just like, yep, time to go. Ultimate final Gohan appears out of nowhere. No, I think something drastic is going to have to happen for him to pull this form out of the bag. And yeah, that's kind of another reason why I think Vegeta and Goku would be able to defeat him, just because they have mastered their forms. They're constantly training. They can just snap into their top forms if they wanted to. Gohan, I don't think it's that easy for him, and I don't think it will be going forward either.
He's gonna revert back to his old ways. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
We'll see.
I think that's just the character he is, and it's why I love him. I think it's sad for a lot of people, but it's Gohan I've grew up with, and
yeah,
it is what it is.
I have hope going forward that he's realised now that Piccolo's nagged him and that this has happened and his daughter's been in danger, that he might train, even if it is just a little bit. He doesn't need to go all out like Goku and Vegeta, leaving his family for months on end. But I think he might at least stay in fighting shape going forward.
Yeah.
But that's all up in the air. We don't know. But anyway, this has been a long segment, so we should move on now. Overall thoughts, I think we both agree that we don't think Gohan could defeat Vegeta or Goku in a fight quite yet. Maybe in the future.
Yet. Maybe in the future if he actually takes Piccolo up on his training.
Yeah, who knows? But for now, controversial takes all around there. But yeah, let's move on now to the Hall of Fame.
Cool.